Here we stand on a beautiful sunny day, and we are at Jonas Driving School, one of the best driving schools in the city. This is where you need to come if you want to get your Class 3 or your Class 1 certification so that you can drive. Here we have a tractor trailer unit, and today we are going to do a full inspection on this particular vehicle. So we're going to start right away by getting in, and we're going to do the under the hood inspection. First thing on under hood inspection, even before we start, we've got to chalk our wheels on our trailer and make sure our truck and trailer are on level ground. So we're going to check everything is on level ground, and I'm going to go back and put the wheel chocks in place. We have to do this in order to make sure that our vehicle will not move when we release the brakes later as we do our inspection. Wheel chocks, as you can see, have to be placed on one wheel. You cannot place wheel chocks, one here and one here. They have to both be on the same wheel. They are secure. We leave them sticking out a little bit because that way we can see when we're sitting in the truck in case we forget to remove them. And it is an important factor. Now we're going to unlatch the hood. I'm going to try and unlatch the hood. Once we get the hood open, look inside at the engine compartment. So I'm going to point as I go along, and we're going to identify all of the individual pieces that have to be done. When you're doing this, the objective here is to try to do both compartments here in about a 5-minute time frame, because you've only got 60 minutes on the clock with an examiner to ensure that you're able to do the full inspection of the entire vehicle. Okay? Try to get a pattern going where you're following the same consistency all the time, and it'll make the whole process easier. We're going to start here at the firewall. Firewall, we have air lines here, we have some electrical wires, we have electrical encased in here. We want to make sure that all of our connections are good. We want to make sure that we don't hear anything leaking, and in this particular case, we do not. Okay. From there, we're just going to quickly bounce up. We have our air box. Airbox is mounted and secure, and there are no cracks and no damage. Right below that is the fuel rail. The fuel rail is intact, no cracks or damage, and no evidence of anything leaking. As we continue across the top, we come to our coolant reservoir. The coolant reservoir has an adequate level of fluid in it. The cap is on securely, and there's no evidence of any leaks, cracks, or damage to it. Right behind that is the radiator. It comes down all the way here, so we look at it from top to bottom. Radiator on this side is in good shape, no cracks or damage to it. This is the radiator support bar. We want to make sure that our radiator doesn't wobble around, and it is also nice and secure. Come down a little bit. Here we have our air-to-air. We check the clamps on here, make sure that they're in good, tight and in good working order. And we make sure that the rubber air-to-air sleeve here, sometimes called the boot, is also no cracks and no damage to it. Going back in again, we have our fuel filter on this side here. No cracks or damage, no evidence of anything leaking. Right beside that, we have our oil dipstick. We want to check and make sure that you've got adequate oil on the dipstick. Put it back into place. Then we have the water pump over here. No cracks cracks or damage to it. We have our fuel water separator. Want to make sure that there are no cracks or damage. Make sure all the fittings are all nice and tight. No leaks. Wiring to it is all in good shape. This is the dryer unit. Dryer unit also, no cracks or damage. All the connections to it are in good working order. Beside that is our power steering fluid. Cap is on secure. We have an adequate level of fluid in there, and there are no cracks or any damage from it. Right behind that is a steering arm. Steering arm, minimal rotation. You should not be able to move this more than 2 inches in either direction. As you can see, it doesn't move in either direction. At the top of it, we have a universal joint, and at the bottom of it, we also have another universal joint. You want to check those and make sure that there are no cracks or damage, that they don't wiggle and they don't move around. This is our fuse box. Make sure the fuse box is mounted and is secure. No cracks or damage to it. Coming across, this is our hood support, so that when the hood closes, that it has something to rest on, and you want to make sure that there's no damage to it. Going back inside again, you can see our fan. If you can turn the blades on the fan, you just simply push on it. I don't suggest doing this when the engine is running. Turn the blades, make sure that there's no damage on any of them. If you're not able to turn the blades, then just simply look at it from the 12 o'clock position down to the 6 o'clock position and make sure you have no cracked, damaged blades, no missing parts or pieces on it, that it's going to spin around clean. If it is damaged and whatnot, what ends up happening to it when the engine is running and whatnot, the fan spins around and you get this wobbling effect that's happening in there. It'll unbalance the engine, and as you drive, your whole truck's going to start to shake. Right? Beside that is the fan shroud. The fan shroud, sometimes called a fan guard, okay, is used to protect the edges of the fan and that you don't accidentally stick your finger somewhere that you should not. Okay, we will continue here. I have a shock absorber here. Okay, we're just checking. Okay, as we continue along, we're going to look at the chassis, sometimes called the frame. Look at it for as much of it you can see. We're looking for anything, cracks, damage, any new holes that have been drilled in there. Okay, if anybody drills a hole into these frames, what it does is it weakens the frame, because what we have is we have tempered steel. Okay, and when you apply heat to it, it weakens that temper, and you can get a frame that's going to crack on you, and it will end up breaking like this. You don't want to have that happen, so make sure nobody's drilled any holes in there. And if you're the guy driving the truck later on, don't you do it. Okay? We've ensured that we don't have any new holes in there. There's no welding that's been done on it, so it's in good shape. This is the steering box. Okay, the steering box is in good shape. All the hoses going to it and coming from it. No cracks or damage. There's nothing leaking here. Okay. Now we have a 3-piece steering assembly, but each driving school does it a little bit different. Okay, so this is called a pitman arm. This is called a drag link. Okay, and then we have an upper control arm on the end of it. Okay, they're all in good shape. We give it a shake. Should be zero play, no movement in it whatsoever. Then we have 3 castle nuts and safety pins. So these are castle nuts. They look a little funny, a different kind of nut. And there's a cotter pin in here. We call it the safety pin. That's what holds this together. Right? So there's one here, there's another one there, and there's a third one down there, down below. So you have to make sure that they are all in place, that none are missing. Now we're going to check the leaf spring. Leaf spring here is nice and flat. Okay, we have no issues with it. Then we have 2 U-bolts there. We want to smack them lightly. If they sound like keys rattling, that means that the nut on the bottom is loose, and we don't want that to happen, so you want to make the check. Right? It's connected to the axle, so make sure your axle is in good shape, no cracks or damage to it. Right behind that is a tie rod. Tie rod is in good shape, no cracks or damage to it. Now we have an air line and an ABS line here. This is the air line that feeds our brake chamber. This is an ABS line that feeds our ABS brake system. The ABS line is actually a wire inside this little tube, so don't get it confused that you think it's air, because it's not. So we have air in here. Okay, no cracks or damage. I don't hear anything leaking. The wire's inside of here. No cracks or damage to it, and no broken or exposed wires. connected to the brake chamber. The brake chamber itself is in good condition. Don't hear anything leaking. No cracks or damage. The slack adjuster on the front, no cracks or damage to it. Safety pins are both in place, so they both look in good condition. Now we'll go into the brake assembly just inside the wheel. No cracks or damage there. The rim itself for the tire, no cracks or damage. I've got good contact between the rim and the tire itself. Okay, the inside tire wall and the outside tire wall, we say no CBC. CBC just simply means we're looking for any kind of cuts, we're looking for any kind of bulges in there, or we're looking for cuts, bulges, and cracks. Okay. Tire is inflated. We have nice even tread wear across the tire surface. Minimum tread depth on front tires is 3.2 millimeters. So make sure that it looks like that. You don't need to have a little tool and a gauge to stick it in there and make sure that it is, but you just need to know that if it looks like it's less than 3.2, talk to your mechanic and get something done. Okay. Now we're going to check the rim here. The rim itself is in good condition, no cracks or damage to it. Okay, I have an air valve with the cap on it. Now I'm going to check each of the wheel nuts, make sure that they're tight, that nothing is loose. Okay, then I have the hub cover. I have a cap on here. There's oil inside, so I just want to make sure that nothing is leaking, and I see no evidence of anything leaking there, and all of the hub nuts themselves are all covered. They're in good condition. Finally, I have the hood strut on this side, no cracks or damage to it. The headlight assembly looks good. Okay, I've got my wiring harness here. Everything is secured. No damage, no cracks, no broken wires. Now I'm going to go around to the other side and have a look at the other side of the engine. And we're basically going to start same way, okay, up top. So here is my turbo air intake. This feeds the air from the air filter down into the turbo air intake. Okay. Shooting straight across, I have an upper radiator hose that feeds coolant that comes down and goes into the pump system. Okay. It looks good, clamps are tight, and the hose itself is in good condition, no cracks or damage. Right beside that, this is the AC compressor, condenser. So the AC condenser here, yeah, all the hoses going to it are in good shape, no cracks or damage to it. They feed down into the AC compressor. It looks good. Underneath there, I have two fan belts. Okay. So I'm going to just reach inside and pull on those fan belts. And what I'm looking for is I want to make sure that the fan belts do not pull more than 1.5 times whatever their width is. Okay. Or we can go with 2 and you can be safe on that. So I have a 1-inch belt there. That means that I should not be able to pull it more than 2 inches. I have another belt there that's a 2-inch belt, and I should not be able to pull it more than 4 inches. And that tells me that I've got good tension, so I don't need special tools to measure all this. Okay. Now I'll go back here to the radiator on this side. Radiator here looks good, no cracks or damage to it. And again, I don't see anything that's leaking. Then I go to the fan shroud or the fan guard. On this side, looks good, no cracks or damage to it. Now I don't have to turn the fan blades again because I already checked the fan blades by being able to turn them previously. But as I said earlier, if you couldn't have turned it, now on this side, I would look at the fan blades from 12 o'clock down to 6 o'clock and make sure that there is no damage to any of it. Okay. Here I have my other air-to-air. I have clamps on here. I want to make sure all my clamps are tight and the air-to-air tube is no cracks or damage. Right below that is my alternator. So the alternator looks okay, no cracks or damage to it, and the wires are properly connected and are nice and tight. Going back a little further, I have an oil filter down here, no cracks or damage to it, and I see no evidence that it's leaking in any way. Okay, now inside here, all of this stuff, okay, we just simply refer to it as turbo. Okay, so the turbo itself, from what I can tell, looks good, no cracks or damage to it. You don't need to be a mechanic to figure this stuff out. All you do is look at it. If you see something that looks like it shouldn't be like that, that's when you report it, make sure you get it fixed. Okay? We look at the exhaust pipe there. From what we can see on this side, and there's no cracks, there's no damage to it, there's no evidence of any black soot. Black soot is just simply like the black soot that you get in the fireplace, and that black soot can kill you. That's carbon monoxide. You want to make sure that that doesn't leak up into the truck. So if you see your exhaust system and it's got black fine powder on it, you don't drive the truck, you report it, and you get it repaired. Okay, now we look at our frame on this side. Okay, no cracks or damage, no new holes, there's no illegal welding on there. Our tow hooks are stowed properly, so there's no damage. They're not going to rattle around. I have my shock absorber on this side, no cracks or damage to it. It's connected to the leaf spring on this side, which is nice and flat and good shape. I have the two U-bolts, no cracks or damage to them. They're not rattling around, connected to the axle. No cracks or damage there. Right behind the axle is the tie rod, and on the end of the tie rod I have one castle nut with a safety pin. So remember, there were 3 castle nut and safety pins on the driver's side. There's one on the passenger side, and that's standard. Okay. Then we have our brake chamber on this side. No cracks or damage. There's nothing leaking there. We have our air line that feeds to it. No cracks or damage. There's no leaks. Again, we have the ABS line, which is our wire. It's connected properly. There's no cracks or damage and no broken wires there. On the front of the brake chamber, we have our slack adjuster. Okay, no cracks or damage to it. The little safety pins are both in place. No cracks or damage to any of those. Then we look at the brake assembly inside. And sometimes we got a dust cover on here, so it's hard to see, but just look at what you can. Okay, you don't want to see any missing nuts or anything that looks like it's loose. This one looks okay, no cracks or damage. The rim itself, no cracks or damage. I've got good contact with the tire itself. Okay, the inside tire wall and the outside tire wall here. Okay, no CBC. Remember, cracks, bulges, or cuts. The tire is inflated. I have nice even tread wear here. Minimum tread depth is, you should know, 3.2 millimeters. Outside, the rim, no cracks or damage to the rim anywhere. Okay, I've got an air valve and cap right here. I'm going to check each of the wheel nuts. Okay, they're all nice and tight. I've got a hub cover in place. The cap is in place. I see no evidence of anything that's leaking here, so it's all good to go. Okay, I have my hood support here as well. That supports the hood when the hood is closed. And then right beside that, I have my windshield washer reservoir. Now, from what I can see with the windshield washer reservoir, it's hidden, so I can't really tell, but minimum should be 75% full. So when it's full, maybe on this truck, you should be able to see it somewhere in the neck. But you want to try to make sure that you always check to make sure you've got adequate windshield washer before you head out on a trip. Right. This is the air filter going into the cab. So we kind of look at that. Just no cracks or damage to it. Okay. The hood strut on this side, no cracks or damage to the strut there. Headlight assembly looks good, no cracks or damage. Then we have our wiring harness here. Everything is secured, and we have no cracks or damage there. Okay. So we've completed the under the hood portion. And what we're going to do now is we're going to close the hood and we're going to carry on with the next phase. So once we get the hood closed and in the down secured locked position, we're going to get inside. We're going to just start the truck and make sure that everything is functioning properly before we move on to the next phase. Hood is secure. All right, so all we're going to do now is we're going to start the truck and we are going to look at our oil pressure gauge. We want to make sure that we have oil pressure. Okay, and the reason for that is just because you have oil that we checked under the hood doesn't mean that we have oil pressure. If we have no oil pressure, then the engine can seize up on us and you ain't going to be driving very far. So we'll turn the key on. Okay, our oil pressure gauge is on the left-hand side on this particular model of truck. Make sure the vehicle is in neutral before you start it. Some vehicles require you to press the clutch, others do not. This one does. So I look right away and my oil pressure gauge moved immediately. I don't need to worry about numbers. I just need it to move. That tells me I've got good compression. So now my truck is running. Everything is good on that side. I'm going to start the process now to uncouple. So we want to uncouple the trailer from the truck and then be able to do the next phase of the inspection. So we're going to move on with that. The first thing we got to do is unhook our airlines. We're going to unhook the electrical here. Okay. On the back of the truck, we have what's called a dead end coupler. And this is where we put these things so that they're not dragging around. We don't want to get them caught in the wheels when we're moving the vehicle. So you must store your airlines properly. We're going to connect them up here. This way we make sure that they stay protected and clean. Sometimes they're a little hard to work with because they're stiff. Okay, so now we've disconnected our airlines. We can look back, we can see that we've chalked the wheels. So now we're going to drop the landing gear. Spin the arm, watch your face. Get the landing gear down on the ground. Just until you feel some pressure, back it off just a hair. Always make sure that you stow the arm. Okay, we can't have that thing wagging around. Now we're going to get our fifth wheel puller. This is a tool that we use to release the fifth wheel. So you'll see that the fifth wheel puller has a hook on it. Okay, putting it on so the hook goes up in this position is dangerous, because if you push it in, if it happens to drop off when you're trying to pull, then it could slip off and you could injure yourself. So always make sure that the hook is facing in the down position. Reach it inside, get a hold of the fifth wheel release, put your foot on the rim of your front tire, make sure that your elbow is clear of your body, give it a quick pull, and it's in the release position. Going to put that fifth wheel puller away. Now we look underneath, double check. Okay, the handle is in the out position, so it's out here. That's good. Now we're going to take a flashlight, going to go underneath, and we're going to have a look inside just to make sure that the jaws on the fifth wheel are open. And when I look inside, I can see the kingpin. So I know that the jaws are open and everything is good there. There it is. Okay. I'm going to come out now. All right, so what we do now, I'm just simply going to pull the truck ahead just far enough so that when I do get out again, I can walk around the vehicle without having any obstacles. So I'm just going to move the truck ahead now. And I will still talk to you from inside. We're going to pick a gear, release the brake, and keep an eye on the truck and trailer to make sure that everything moves safely. We're going to pull ahead just a little bit. So we move ahead about 18 inches, pop the brake. Now we're going to lower the landing gear. So there's a switch on the dashboard that we flick. And once we do that, our airbags are going to deplete. Always make sure we close our door. so I can hear the air going out of the airbags. And what I'm looking for now underneath is I'm looking for daylight. So I want to see daylight between the fifth wheel and the underside of the trailer. Now I know that there's no weight from the trailer sitting on the tractor. I look back here and I make sure that my landing gear is supporting the trailer. If you get into a spot where you've got soft ground or it's muddy, you crank that down, your trailer could end up sinking into the ground, and that wouldn't be good. All right, so we've ensured that everything is good there. Now we're going to move the truck ahead and get it into the exact position we want so that we can clear the back end to walk around. Release the brake. Again, put it in gear. We're just simply going to pull ahead. Watch the space on the back end. Just make sure that we've got sufficient room. So we're good there. To walk around the back of the vehicle. I should have flipped up the switch. See, I make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Long as you remember, that's the important part. Now we're just going to simply go to the front of the truck, and we start with a simple inspection on the front. As I look at the wind deflector up on the top, I don't see any damage. I have clearance lights across the front. There's no damage there. My windshield from here looks like it's okay. I'll check it further when I go inside. I can see that I have windshield wipers. I'll check them later and make sure that they're functioning properly as well. Okay, all my headlights are working. My left signal is working. As I move up to the front, I check the front end. Okay, the grille is in good shape. The bumper is in good condition. No cracks or damage to it. It's mounted. Okay, my license plate is mounted and secure, so I have no damage there, and I don't have to worry about it falling off. Come around the side. I'm going to start with the driver's side hood-mounted mirror. Okay, there's no cracks or damage to it. The mirror itself is nice and clean. Okay, the side of my hood looks good. The latch is secure. My left signal is functioning. Mirror on the driver's side. The mirror mount is in good condition. The mirrors themselves, no cracks or damage. The mirrors are nice and clean. Okay, this one is critical. This is my CVIP. Okay, it's a commercial vehicle inspection, and it must be valid. So I'm looking at it here, and I can see that it's good until October of 2025. The door itself looks good. The door opens and closes properly. I have a good weather seal all the way around. Inside, I can see that I have a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is fully charged and in good condition. I will check two other safety items that I see that are over on the other side. I have a first aid kit, and I have my triangles. I'm required by law to have two. In this particular truck, I may have three. Okay. The grab bar also inside is solid and mounted securely. I'll check the door more later. Okay, as I continue here, now I have my battery box. All I'm looking for is to make sure that the latch on it is secure. I'm not required to pull it up. Okay, I don't see any damage there. Underneath, I have two air tanks, both look in good condition. Don't hear anything leaking, so no cracks or damage there. This is my DEF tank. This is diesel exhaust fluid. It helps to minimize the pollution we put into the air. Okay, make sure that the cap is secure on here and that there's no damage, that there's nothing leaking. Stairs, mounted and secure, no cracks or damage there. Stairs on this side, no cracks or damage to them. Mounted to our fuel tank. Fuel tank is in good shape, no cracks or damage. I look underneath, don't see anything leaking. Make sure that the cap is on securely. Okay. Up on top, I have a catwalk, or you can sometimes call it the deck because you're going to walk on it. Speaking of, let's walk on it. So I'm going to climb up, step onto the deck, make sure that I'm in a secure spot. Okay. Grab bar on the back is in good condition, no cracks or damage to it. My airline support looks good. No cracks or damage. It's supporting my airlines. I'm happy. I've got 2 windows on the back of this vehicle. No cracks or damage to any of that. Another grab bar up here. No cracks or damage. Okay. Here's my exhaust on this side. No cracks or damage. I don't see any soot. I'm looking at the exhaust pipe here. And again, I don't see any damage. I don't see any cracks. I don't see any black soot. So I'm happy about it. I have a shock absorber there and there. No cracks or damage to them. I have an airbag here and here. No cracks or damage there. Cross member holds everything together. No cracks or damage to it. Did I say exhaust support? Okay, this bar is good. No cracks or damage to it. Now I can see that I've got some wires here. I've got some airlines that I'm looking at down below. No cracks or damage. In the middle, I have my drive shaft. At the end of the drive shaft, I have a universal joint. And I have another one right down here. No cracks or damage to that. I've got an air tank over here. And over here, no cracks or damage. And the airlines feeding into it. No cracks or damage to any portion of it. That makes me happy. Now I can just simply turn around. Inside here, I've got all kinds of wires. I've got all kinds of airlines feeding back towards the back end of the truck. Don't hear anything leaking, and all the wires are secure and they're not flopping around. Cross member here and here. No cracks or damage to any portion of it. Inside, I have a differential, which is a great big thing, looks like a pumpkin. No cracks or damage to it. On top of it, I have a torsion bar, sometimes called a sway bar, prevents it from moving. No cracks or damage. Down below, I can see a brake chamber, and I can see a brake chamber on this side. In front of it, I can see the slack adjuster, safety pins on both of them. No cracks or damage to either one of them, and the airlines feeding to both of them. No cracks or damage or leaks or any portion of it. Okay, so that's pretty much all I want to do up here. Okay, I've covered what I can from here. I've looked in the back of the truck, and I'm happy with this. So now all I'm going to do is climb down, and I'm going to continue the rest of my inspection as I go. So we always climb down backwards. We always get out of our truck backwards, because you've got more contact with your foot on the steps getting out of the truck, so you want to make sure that you don't step out forward. First off, it's illegal to do so. If you get out of the truck and you get out this way, it's an automatic fail. It's an unsafe move. Okay? Our fender over here is mounted and secure. No cracks or damage to it. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. From here we look at our fifth wheel. Fifth wheel is greased, in good condition, no cracks or damage. Right here we have safety pin. Safety pin is in place, no cracks or damage. The whole fifth wheel slide assembly, top and on the bottom here, no cracks or damage. There's no bolts missing. I look at the chassis or the frame from the front, all the way here to the back, no cracks or damage. I haven't seen any new holes that have been drilled in there. It doesn't look like anybody be doing any welding. It's in good shape. As I step inside here, I'm going to look a little closer at some other things. So I see I have an airbag here and an airbag back here. Both my airbags are inflated. I have a shock absorber 1 and 2, no cracks or damage to them. I have my axle 1 and my axle 2, no cracks or damage. I have U-bolts, 2 of them there and 2 of them there, and they are both nice and tight. Don't hear anything rattling. They are in good shape there. Okay, shock absorber 1 and 2. Okay, again, no cracks or damage. The whole leaf spring, no cracks or damage. Leaf spring here, no cracks or damage. Both nice and flat. Suspension support 1 and 2, no cracks or damage to any portion of it. Alright, now I'm ready to look at the wheels. The brake assembly here, 1 and 2, so I can check both wheels. Okay, no cracks or damage there. The rim, it's in good contact with the tire, no cracks or damage. And the rim here is in good contact with the tire, no cracks or damage. Now in order to speed up the process, I can do this a little differently and save time. So now I have tire wall on the inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. No CBC. Look inside. Both the rims are touching on both tires. And I have no debris inside, so there's nothing that's going to come spinning out and flying like a little missile. All my tires are inflated. Minimum tread depth on these are 1.6. So it's half of what it is on the steering tires, 1.6. I want to make sure we have nice even tread wear. Looks good. Now we look at the individual rims. So the rim on this side, again, no cracks or damage. Check all the wheel nuts. Make sure that they're all nice and tight. Okay. Cracks or damage to any of them. The hub cover itself, no cracks or damage to it, nothing leaking. Make sure all the nuts are all nice and tight there. Now I just want to make sure I've got an air valve with a cap on it here, and I've got an air valve with a cap on it here. Now here's a little secret for you. If the people who put tires on do their job properly, they can help you when you're looking for these air valve and caps. So here we have an air valve and cap, and it's sort of at the 11 o'clock position. If you wonder where the other one is, if they put it on properly, it should be right directly opposite down here. And if we look, there it is. So it's located in the just exact opposite position. So if the tires were straight, it would be in the 12 o'clock, or it would be in the 6 o'clock. If it was here at the 9, the other one would be at 3. So it's just a little tip to help you find it easier, so you're going, oh, where the heck is it? All right? Now we look at the next tire, and we do the same thing. We'll check the rim. No cracks or damage to the rim. And we're going to check all the wheel nuts. All nice and tight. Hub covers in place. No evidence of any leaking. Make sure all the nuts are all nice and tight. Okay, we're going to do the air valve and cap. Here it is at the 9 o'clock position. So like I said earlier, if it was mounted properly, the next one would be a 3. But in this particular case, that's not true. So here's a good example of what I said before. This one is here at the 9 o'clock position. The next one is up here at the 11 o'clock position. So whoever put this tire on didn't put it in the right position. Sometimes that makes it difficult for the mechanics when they come out and they have to put air in the tires. You can't get the air chunk. That's the reason for it. But that's not something you can worry about, because unless you're changing tires, nothing you can do. Just to give you a tip on where to find it. Okay, now we're gonna hit the backhand. A mud flap hanger here, one, and a mud flap hanger here. Okay, good condition. That was a little bent, but that's not a safety issue. I've got 110 DOT tape on both sides. Mud flap, both in good shape. No cracks or damage to this. Okay, now I get in and look a little closer. I've got a crossover here, and here. No cracks or damage to any of them. I look down inside, I can see the brake chamber 1, brake chamber 2, slack adjuster 1, and slack adjuster 2. Safety pins are in place, no cracks and no damage. All the air lines in here, and all the wiring in here, no cracks or damage to any portion or any parts of it. Differential, you can see it a little bit better here because it's exposed. Differential's in good shape, no cracks or damage to it. And our torsion bar here, no cracks or damage. Okay, our midway drive shaft, no cracks or damage. U-joint on this side and the one that I can see there coming off, looks like they're also in good shape. No cracks or damage to any portions of that. Okay, everything else here looks good. My left signal is working on this side. I don't really need to worry about it, because once I get everything hooked up properly, I'm going to check these lights again to make sure that they're functioning. Okay. So what I want to do now before I go any further, I'm just going to stop here real quick. I run up to the front of the truck. I'm going to just flip the right signal on. Right signal is now working. I'll check it on the other side of that. Back, I can see see my right signal is working. That's the sunshine on there. Okay, I'm ready to continue and go back up the other side. So same thing as we did before. We're going to start top, down, work our way. Okay, safety pin on the fifth wheel is in place. No cracks or damage to it. All the nuts on top and the bottom of my fifth wheel slide are in good condition. Now I look at my frame or my chassis all the way up. No cracks or damage to any parts of it. Now I've lost my mind. Good, okay. Shock absorber 1 and shock absorber 2, no cracks or damage to them. Airbag 1 and airbag 2 are both inflated. No cracks or damage, don't hear anything leaking. Axle 1 and axle 2, no cracks or damage. Okay? Check the U-bolts on both sides. Don't hear anything rattling around her, so in good shape. Leaf spring 1 and leaf spring 2 are both nice and flat. No cracks or damage to them. The suspension support, no cracks or damage to any portions of it. Everything there is in good shape. Brake assembly on this side and the brake assembly on this side, no cracks or damage. Everything looks good there. Rim 1 and rim 2, no cracks or damage to either one of those. I have good contact with the tire. Tire surface 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. No CBC. In between the tires, both rims are touching. I have no debris in here. I have no debris in here. Everything looks good. All my tires are inflated. I have nice even tread wear on all the tires. Minimum tread depth 1.6 millimeters. Now I get down, do the outside rim. No cracks or damage. Check all of the wheel nuts. Make sure that they're all nice and tight. Check the hub. All the nuts are all nice and tight. And I have one air valve with a cap on it here. And if the other one is in the correct position, which it is, air valve and cap is there. No cracks or damage. Move on to the next one. Check the rim on this side. No cracks or damage to it. Check all the wheel nuts. Make sure all my wheel nuts are all nice and tight. Don't want anything loose. Hub cover is in place. No evidence of anything leaking. Make sure all the nuts are all nice and tight there. Lastly, the air valve and cap here. This one is at about the 9 o'clock position, so the other one should be here, and it is. Air valve and cap, we are in good shape over there. Here I have my fender. Fender is in good shape. Small little hole in it, but nothing to worry about from a safety position. Okay. Then I have my fuel tank on this side. The cap is secure on here. Okay. I look underneath. I have no cracks or damage. I have nothing that's leaking there. I've done everything on the back side of the truck over here. The only other thing that I could have done, we'll do it. Now I have my steps on this side. Steps look good. Okay. Cover for my DEF system looks good. Okay. Nothing's loose hanging around. Door on the passenger side. Door opens and closes properly. Inside, safety handle. No cracks or damage there. Okay. There are my triangles for my safety. I do have 3. I'm only required by law to have 2. I've got a nice weather seal on this door, so it opens and closes properly. Check the grab bar on this side. Nice and secure. No cracks or damage. Yep. Mirror 1, 2, and 3. No cracks or damage. Mirrors are nice and clean. And the mirror support looks good. No cracks or damage there. Side of the door looks good overall. No cracks or damage to it. My right signal is working. Okay, my hood latch is secure. I've already done everything else here. My hood mounted mirror is in good shape. No cracks or damage. It's all nice and clean. As I come around to the front, my right signal is working. Now I'm just going to take the truck out. I'm going to drive, make a small little circle, come back, and we're going to couple the truck back up again. Make sure you have a look inside. Hey, you want to have a nice clean connector. Don't want to have any stones or debris in there. And that's why we use the dead end coupler, to ensure that, you know, it doesn't get damaged. Okay, all 7 pins in here look good. No cracks or damage to any portion. Make sure that your pin is locked in place. Okay, now we're going to connect our air lines. And it doesn't matter which order you place them in. You can do your service before your supply, or you can do your supply. It's really irrelevant, doesn't matter. Okay. At the front of the trailer is my document holder. I want to make sure that I have documents in there. I could have checked it when I was on the ground, but I'll do it now. Check, look inside. Yes, I have documents inside. These are the documents for my trailer. So that's the registration, the insurance, safety certificate. We just want to make sure that that is in place. Front of my trailer looks good. No cracks or damage there. Okay. I have a placard holder on the left hand side. It's in good shape. Underneath, everything here looks good. And the kingpin was all good as well. I can look down the side of the trailer. If I have lights up on top, I want to make sure that the lights are working, and I see that they are. Now I look down the side of the trailer. So down the side of the trailer wall looks good. I don't see any cracks or damage. I have 100% DOT tape, 50% DOT tape, pardon me, all the way down. And I have my safety certificate, CVIP. It's good until July of 2026. I'm going to take my hammer again. And I can start the inspection going forward from here. I'm going to look at my landing gear here. Landing gear on this side looks good. Cross members look good. Okay, no cracks or damage. The handle is stowed properly. Okay. I can raise the landing gear at this point. I need to make sure that it goes all the way up, and I need to make sure that the shoe, which is the part that sits on the ground, is nice and clean. Okay. It is a violation of the Highway Traffic Act to drive around with stones and debris sitting on here, so you always need to make sure that it's clean. That's how windshields get broken. Okay, now we're going to continue down. We'll go down halfway. Okay, my four-way and left signal are working on this side. Now I can have a look at the underneath. So underneath I have all these cross members from front to back. Okay. That's my floor structure. I don't see any cracks or damage to anything indicating that the floor is damaged and anything is coming through. As I look a little bit further and get closer, I'm going to go underneath, and the inspection here is going to be looking for several things. The first thing I want to make sure is that the airlines here behind me are supported and they're not hanging down. They cannot be below 18 inches. So it has to be 18 inches off the ground for clearance to make sure they don't catch on something. So all the airlines and the wiring that I can see coming all the way back here looks good. Okay, no evidence of wires broken, and I don't hear anything that's leaking. Okay, now I'm going to examine everything underneath here. As I look underneath, I can see that my airbags are all full. I can see I have 2 shock absorbers on this axle, no cracks or damage. The axle itself, no cracks or damage. Brake chamber 1 and 2, no cracks or damage. In front of each one is a slack adjuster safety pin, no cracks or damage there. Going over, I can see the The brake assembly on this side, brake assembly on this side, no cracks or damage to it. Rim 1 and rim 2, no cracks or damage there. The tire wall and the tire wall here, also no cracks or damage. I can see part of the suspension support under here as well, no cracks or damage. Finally, there's some hoses here that are leading back to that air tank, no cracks or damage. I don't see any, can't hear anything leaking, so it's in good shape. Cross members and the structure of my assembly here all looks good as well, no cracks or damage. As I work my way out, I can check quickly. I have no debris in between my tires, front and back. Okay, both rims are touching, front and back. Inside tire walls, no cracks or damage, no CBC. Okay, tires are both inflated. Minimum tread depth 1.6. I have nice even tread wear on this set of tires. I have nice even tread wear on this set of tires. They are both inflated as well. Inside on this rear tire, no CBCs on either one of the inner rims. Outside and outside, no CBC, all in good shape there. Rim on this side, no cracks or damage. All the wheel nuts are secure. Air valve with a cap, and the air valve with the cap on this one over here. Okay, my hub cover is in place. I can see I have oil inside, the cap's secure. I see no evidence of anything leaking, and all the little tiny nuts and bolts on here are also in good shape. Finally, I move to the last tire and repeat the process. The rim here looks good, no cracks or damage. Check all of the wheel nuts and make sure that each one is all nice and tight, okay, which they are. The hub cover is in place. All the bolts for it are all nice and tight, also tight. I have oil inside, the cap is secure, and there's no evidence of anything leaking underneath. Finally, the air valve with the cap and the air valve with the cap on the other side. So this set of tires is good. Now I have what's called bogey pins, or my sliding axle pins. So I have safety pins that are up there. I can see that the safety pins are both protruding, so they're sticking out, which is what I want to see. So the slide assembly looks good, and the slide handle here is stowed and locked in the proper position. As I continue down now, this is my ABS light. I don't want to see that on, so if it was on now, that would tell me that I have a fault with the ABS system, needs to get checked. I have a clearance light here, and as I come around the back, I have clearance lights all the way across the top. I look at my door structure. Doors look good, no cracks or damage. Doors are secured. If I had a load inside, I would open the doors to check and make sure that my load was properly secured. Okay, both my four-ways are working. I have 100% DOT tape across the back and across the bumper. The bumper assembly is good, no cracks or damage there. This trailer has additional glad hand connections. They both look good, and I don't hear anything leaking from them. My license plate here is mounted and secure. My license plate light is working. If I found that the light was burnt out, then I would make sure that I get it repaired. It needs to be replaced within 24 hours. Okay, brake lights are on. So what I need to do now, and I'm going to do this quickly, I need to switch over to my signal. So I'm just simply going to run up, and I'm going to turn off the four-ways. I'm going to flip on, turn off the four-ways, flip on the left signal. I have left signal working on the front of the truck. As I come back, I have left signal working underneath the truck. Left signal on the side of the trailer. I have left signal working here. All my other lights are working there. Go back up again. Just flip it over to the right-hand signal so that I can check the back of the trailer. And yes, this is where you get your exercise. Come all the way to the back now. Brake lights are on the left. My right signal is working on this side. Now I'm ready to continue here. As I look down the side of the trailer over here, if I had clearance lights up on top, I want to check them. Side of my trailer wall looks good. No cracks and no damage to it. I have 50% DOT tape all the way down the side. Looks good. Okay. My clearance light on this side is functional, working well. Gotta climb underneath real quick and just do a quick check here. Now you could do this from either side. I could have jumped in when I was on the driver's side or on this side, as long as it gets done. Air tank on here, no cracks or damage, don't hear anything leaking. Okay. Slack adjusters, 1 and 2, brake chambers, 1 and 2, no cracks or damage, don't hear anything leaking. I've got air lines coming into both of them, no cracks or damage. The axle that everything is mounted on, no cracks or damage there. Shock absorber 1 and 2, no cracks or damage. Wiring and hoses up above, no cracks or damage to any portion of it. Brake assembly inside, no cracks or damage. No cracks or damage on this side. Rim 1 and 2, no cracks or damage. Good contact with the tire surface. Inside tire walls, no CBC. I look at the floor structure above my head and I see that the cross members here are in good shape. The bumper behind me is also in good condition. No cracks or damage. Mud flap 1 and 2 are mounted securely. No cracks or damage there. Now I move up to the tires here. All my tires are inflated. I have good tread depth, minimum 1.6. Nice even tread wear on all the tires. I look inside. Both rims are touching, and both rims are touching on both sides. I have no debris in between, so I'm good on that case. Go back out to the outside. Outside rim, no cracks or damage. Check all the wheel nuts, all nice and tight. Hub cover is in place. All the nuts for it are nice and tight. I have oil inside, and the cover is in place. Air valve and cap, and I am happy with all of that. Move on to the next tire. Rim on this side, no cracks or damage. The rim itself is in good condition. Okay. All the wheel nuts are all nice and tight. Hub cover is in place. I have oil. The cap is on securely. No evidence of any leaks. Air valve with the cap. And air valve and cap. So I've secured all of that. Okay, I look at the sliding rail on this side, and here again, I can see the safety pin. So you might be able to see it better on this side because it's nice and clear. So this is the safety pin. You want to make sure that that is sticking out. That stops this from being able to slide and move forward. So we're looking good over there. Okay, we've checked all of this. Our right signal is flashing and working. We're happy with that. We checked all of the undercarriage. Now we're looking at the landing gear on this side. No cracks or damage to any portion of it. Okay, our shoe is nice and clean. No debris sitting on there. Cross supports, no cracks or damage. Right signal is working on our truck. We've already done all of the truck stuff. So we just get to the front and we look way up there and there's a clearance light, and the clearance light should be 100% functional. At this point, that completes the full inspection of truck and trailer. All that's left to do now is air brake. So if you want to jump inside here on this side, and I'll go around on the other side, and we'll get inside. And we can do the air brake pre-trip. So for the air brake pre-trip to begin, all we have to do is first we have to disconnect all of our air lines. Don't have to worry about the electrical. It's not important. Because these are short, we can just leave them there. They can hang because they're not going to get stuck on anything because we're not moving or driving our vehicle. Okay, we double check and we can see that we still have our wheel chocks that are in place, so we know that our unit isn't going to go anywhere. Now we're going to go inside the vehicle and we are going to do the air brake pre-trip. To make sure that you're going to be able to get everything done and not have any issues. So turn off any lights. If you released any air, make sure that you put that all back on again. Okay? Adjust the steering wheel so that you can see your gauges. We're using this pressure gauge and we're using this pressure gauge. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that everything is going to function the way that it is supposed to. So I'm getting my little stopwatch thingy here ready. As soon as I remember where I put it. I think it starts with the S. There it goes. There's my stopwatch. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we need to test to make sure that the trailer protection system is functioning and working the way that it's supposed to. So we're going to push in the red button, and when we do, we're going to hear air leaking out from the back end, which is exactly what we're hearing right now. So we need to have the key in the on position so that the gauges work so that we can read them properly. As the air in the tanks deplete, these air gauges are dropping down. As they drop down, we're looking for them to hit 60. At 60 psi, we're going to get little red lights light up inside here, and we're going to get a warning on the dash. There it is, telling me that I've got low air pressure, because the first one got to 60. The second one is coming down. It'll get there. All we're waiting for now is to make sure that this red button pops out, which it did just now. It's supposed to pop out between 60 and 40 psi. We look here, we're at 60. This one's a little bit higher. Higher is better. I'd rather have it pop out sooner. That tells me that it shut off the air supply going back to the trailer to ensure that we don't lose all of our air. Now we're just simply going to test our service brake. When we pull this handle down, it supplies air to the blue line that connects to the trailer, and it would apply the brakes on the trailer. Well, because the trailer is disconnected, we don't want to have air leaking out, so we listen. And we do not hear any air leaking out. Hold it for 5 seconds and then release it. Now we're going to push the yellow button in. What we want to do now is we want to ensure that the truck itself is protected. So we're going to put our finger just on the edge of the button. We're going to pump the brake now, and we want to make sure that this button pops out between 60 or between 45 and 20 psi. So we just simply start pumping on it. Don't look at the gauges, look at the button, because the button is what's going to tell you. So the instant that button pops out, we're going to stop pumping the brake, and then we're going to check to see where we're at. And there it is. All right, so we look and we check, and we're sitting at 25 psi. So somewhere between 45 and 20, and it's good. Okay? Now you might have a truck that is a little older, so it might be 1 or 2 psi difference. That's not a problem. Okay, when you get 5 or 10, then it's a problem. So 1 or 2 is minor. So now both buttons are out. We don't have any air anymore, so we need to do something to get our air back up so we can test the rest of the system. So in order to do that, I'm going to get out of the truck, and I'm going to connect the air lines back up again so that we can proceed with the next phase of our pre-trip inspection for our air brake. Again, make sure that you always get out of the vehicle the correct way. Now we're just going to hook our air lines back up again. Like I said, doesn't matter. When you're hooking them up, you want to make sure that the seals on here are both in good shape, okay? Because if they're damaged, you could have an air leak in there. Check the other one, okay? So you can see how this one is bent in. That could create an air leak with our hose. So because they're only rubber, we can kind of pry at it, and I've managed to pull it out, and I make it all look good again because I'm just so good at doing that. Right? The other side is in good shape. We are going to connect it back up again, and now we're ready to get back inside the truck, and we can complete the air brake process. So we climb back in again. Get our timer ready. So now we're going to start the truck, We're going to watch the two gauges. One of the gauges is going to start moving first. We want to have our RPM set at about 1200. As soon as the first gauge gets to 50 psi, I'm going to start my timer. Bing, 50 psi, I start the timer. Now I want to make sure that my tanks are getting filled properly, so I'm testing the compressor. The compressor has to be able to fill between 50 and 90 in under 3 minutes. So we're just watching the clock, we're watching the gauges. They're just coming up on 60 psi. As soon as they get to the right point on there, the alarm will go off, telling me that I have adequate air pressure. And it's just about there. All right, at 60 psi, the warning goes off. I'm good. So I'm just continuing to watch it. It's coming up on 80. Still a little ways to go. And as soon as it gets to that 90, which we're right about in the middle of that space, I'm going to stop my timer. So we're coming up on it right about now. So I've got 1 minute, 20 seconds. Okay, 1 minute and 20 seconds is less than 3 minutes. So I'm happy with that. That tells me that my compressor is doing its job and it can fill the tanks up. Now I have to wait. I'm going to listen for the purge. That's going to tell me when I reach my cutout stage. My cutout should occur between 120 psi and 135 psi. We have these numbers in place so that we do the tests properly to make sure that everything is working according to what the settings and what the provincial government wants. Coming up on 120, the gauges are still moving. As soon as I hit my cutout, the gauges are going to stop moving because it's reached its maximum. There it is. So we're looking at 120 psi. The gauges aren't moving anymore. I'm okay with that. So that was my cut out. Now I want to do my cut in. Notice that my truck is still running at 1200 RPM. I need to maintain that. In order to get my air pressure down, my cut in should occur 20 to 25 psi below whatever my cutout is. This one cut out at 125. That means that the maximum of this one should go is 100 psi. So I'm sure that is working. I'm going to push both buttons in. It's going to use some of that air as it fills up the airbags. Should get me down close to that 100. Okay, I'm just coming up with 100 now. So what I want to see now is I watch the gauges, and I should see the gauges starting to climb back up again, not go down. If they do that, then I know that my cut-in is working properly, and that my air pressure is being restored, replenished. That's a good word to use. So I can see the gauges are starting to move. This truck just took a little bit of time, and I have confirmation my cut-in is, in fact, I want to get about 110 psi in my tanks so that I can do the next test. And I have 100 psi. I'm going to shut the truck off now. I'm going to turn the truck back on so that the gauges work properly. Okay. Now I'm going to do the air brake leak test. So I want to make sure I don't have any leaks in my system at all. So I'm going to put my foot all the way down hard on the floor. I'm gonna wait until the gauges on the truck stop moving, and then I'm going to start my timer now. So don't start the timer when you put your foot on the pedal. Start the timer when you've noticed that the gauges aren't moving. So my gauges are sitting at 100. All right. With my truck and trailer combination, I cannot lose more than 6 PSI in total. 4 for my truck and 2 for my trailer. So I don't want this to come down to like 94 PSI. So I'm holding the pedal down. Now if you've got a bad leg or you've got a weak leg, you can use 2 feet. Put 2 feet on the pedal and hold the pedal down. But you have to have maximum pressure to ensure that that's there. Now while we're sitting here and we're doing nothing and we're just kind of waiting for the clock to run out, we can do our interior inspection. Interior inspection, we're going to look at the 2 windows. So our windshield looks good, no cracks or damage there. We're going to turn the wipers on, and the wipers are functioning. I'm going to use the washer. The washers are working properly, so I'm happy with all of that. I'm going to turn them off. That's the first 3 there. Okay, now I'm going to check the windows. So I'm going to push the buttons, make sure the windows on both sides go up and down, which they do. I have no problems there. Now I'm going to check my seat belt. I pull my seat belt across, make sure that it latches and secures properly, which it does. It's nice and secure. Okay, it's not damaged, it's in good shape. Now I check my floor. The floor itself looks good, no cracks or damage, there's no holes, and nothing rolling around that's going to fall underneath my feet. Finally, I'm going to check the last 3 items. Okay, so I'm going to check my defrost, turn the blower on, make sure it's going. Yes, I can feel air coming out at the top, so the blower is working properly. Now I want to check my city horn. Beep beep, there it goes. And then I would do the highway horn, but because the highway horn uses air, I don't want to do that until I'm actually finished. So I'm just at 2 minutes and 11 seconds, so I'm over. I've done everything I need to do inside. I'm now checking my air pressure. My air pressure is still at 100, so I can release that, and we're in good shape. And then I can honk the horn as a celebration to say, hey, I'm done, and my air brake pre-trip is almost there. I've only got 2 things left to do. Okay? Now I want to do a brake adjustment. So a brake adjustment is just simply put my foot on the pedal, press it down hard. 1001, 1002, take my foot off. Do it again. Press down hard on the pedal. 1001, 1002, take my foot off the pedal. My brakes are now adjusted. All right, the last thing I have to do is called a rolling brake test or a brake response test. And in order to do that, I'm going to pull the brakes on, because I'm never going to get out of the truck if the brakes are in the release position. That's an automatic fail. Okay, so both of those are on. I'm going to get out now. I'm going to go and remove the wheel chocks, and then we're going to do a response test by just simply driving forward. Now I'm going to get out of the truck. So it's in there a little tight, so I'm going to back up just a hair to take the pressure off the wheel shock, which can happen if the truck moves either the tight end of the bit. Now I don't have to beat on the stick. Now we're ready to do a rolling brake test or a response test. And that's just simply get in the truck, drive it ahead, step on the brake, this. Make sure that everything is done. So remember, you've got 1 hour on the clock, 60 minutes. Most students are typically doing this now in anywhere between 37 and 42 minutes on average. So that does give you a little bit of wiggle time, you know, if you're operating a little bit slow. Go through the video, concentrate on it, focus on everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you're doing the job that you should be doing and that you're paying attention, because why we do this is it's about safety. It's not about memorizing something to say, oh, well, I need to know all of these different parts. No, you don't. What you need to do is safety. It's about you. Do you want to come home at the end of the day when you're finished? If your answer is yes, then focus on the safety. That's it from Jonas Driving School for today. We've done all of our inspection. Some parts of it may be different. As you go from vehicle to vehicle, you will find differences as you look under the hood. Certain things will be in different places. Every truck has exactly the same items, right? All you need to do is be able to identify them, and if you can do the under the hood portion in 5 minutes, you should be able to do the full inspection of the truck portion in about 12 minutes, and then you add to that doing the trailer, then jumping inside, and it all works out that you should be able to just blast through this and get it done and be well under the 45-minute mark, so that you've got lots of time available to you just in case you're running a little bit slow. Have a great day, be safe out there, and remember, if you need to do anything with Jonas Driving School, give us a call and we'll hook you up so that you can become an excellent driver. The backup requirements for the test for Class 1. So we have a 90-degree blind side backup, which means backing up on your passenger side. And we're going to set ourselves up out here in the yard. We're going to do a 90-degree, and then once we finish that 90-degree, we're going to do the second requirement. The second requirement is just simply an offset or parallel park, where we go from one slot into the other. So I'm going to jump in this truck here and hopefully don't make any mistakes. And I'll try to kind of give you a commentary as we go. I'm going to pull out, drive around, and we're going to set up and get this thing all lined up to do this 90-degree. We're going to pull this truck out and get it around, constantly checking. So always look for any possible visual issues that the vehicle is going to be able to turn exactly when you want it to turn. Okay, so what I've done here is I've made absolutely sure that my truck and my trailer are reasonably straight so that I can start making my turn right away. Normally when you do a measurement to pace it off, line yourself up with the cones that you have in a straight line. Okay, we want to go into that slot, so we want to use the cones on the farthest side of the slot. From there to the back of the trailer, we want to be somewhere between 12 and 15 feet. Okay, my average step is 3, so no more than 5 paces. If I'm more than that, then I should be able to just kind of back up a little bit. So we're going to measure this out. Whatever your stride is, you kind of have to figure that one out for yourself. So I'm going to measure from here in a straight line towards the back of the trailer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where it should be to begin. Okay, I'm obviously a little bit further ahead. So how far ahead am I? So I'm 1, 2. So I'm 2 steps ahead of where I should be in order to start making that happen. So now I'm just simply going to back the truck up a little bit, and then I'm going to start executing my turn. So I'm going to watch carefully as I do that. We're using a day cab here as opposed to a highway tractor, and with a day cab it is a little bit easier because we do have windows in the back. The windows in the back allow us to be able to get a better view of the area that we're going to go into. So I'm going to get in the truck and continue with this, and let's see if we can get this thing back into where it wants to be. See if I can do it without making a mistake. Release the brakes, put it into gear. You always honk twice, make sure that somebody knows what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to back up just that little bit that I was too far ahead on. Now I'm ready to start making my turn. Okay? I'm going to turn my wheels to the left because I want my trailer to go to the right. As I'm backing up, I can use the mirrors. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on the wheel. Okay? Focusing on the wheels of the trailer. Look out the back. Now I get to just about 90 degrees between the trailer and the truck. I stop there because if I keep going any further, I put unnecessary stress on the airlines and the electrical, but also it gives me a point where I can now turn my wheels the other way to make my truck straighten out, because I want my truck to come back the other direction. But still at the same time, it's going to push back. As it pushes back, again, I just need to adjust my wheel as I turn until I get it going where I want. Now I can kind of see where it's going. I want to kind of keep backing up. I want to get my trailer aimed towards the slot. So I'm looking out the back window. I'm watching where the trailer is going. Is it going to line up with where I want it to be? And the answer would be no, because as you can see it, now when I look out the back window, I can see where the cone is, and it's not going to line up where I want. Now at the moment, when I look at the front, okay, I have 1, 2, and 3 cones across the front, and I'm not allowed to go outside them once I get inside. So I'm just going to quickly show you what that is. Okay, so right here we're looking at the cones. I have 1, 2, and 3 cones. The 3 cones means I can't drive past the cones in that direction. Once the truck gets inside here, I have to stay inside. So it's like a cage. All right, so it's a cement wall. I have to stay inside. Right now my truck is almost there, but it's not. So because it's not, I can pull ahead again to line myself up, get myself where I want to be. But as soon as the complete nose of the truck goes inside this box, this wall kind of invisibly pops up. Now I can't go back and drive past here again. Now I can get out of the truck as many times as I want to in order to check, make sure that everything is okay. And it's a good idea to do that because it gives you an opportunity to look around you, make sure that everything is good, make sure your truck is lined up with where your cones are supposed to be so that you're not worried that you've gone beyond where you need to be. Okay, so I'm going to pull forward now so I can line my trailer up a little bit more. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get this thing where I need it to be. So the back end of the trailer is not quite facing where I want it to be. So I want to get it around just so I can see. Now I can see the cones. All right, this move will now put me inside the front cone, so I will not be able to go outside of it again. So I have to be careful, steady pressure so that I'm backing up gently, keeping the cones in mind. I can now see it. So I want to back up. I want to watch my driver's side as well, because I do not want to hit the cone. If you hit a cone, if you so much as even touch a cone, it's an automatic fail. So now I want to back it up. I want to get that trailer going nice and straight into the slot if possible. So kind of like that. And then I'm going to straighten the truck out again. I need to be completely in front of the trailer. Okay? We use the reference term getting under the trailer. That's what we're looking for. So we're watching the cones, make sure that we kind of get in straight. We can pull it ahead again, just a little bit. Line ourselves up because we cannot hit any cones. All right. Crank it around again. Make sure that we're not hitting any cones. We're staying as straight as we need to be. Get back underneath the trailer. Really quick. And last time to straighten out. That's all we need. This will be the perfect entry right here. Now sometimes you can do this better. You can do it in 1 or 2 moves. It's a real simple process. Okay, we're going to take it back and we should be right about where the requirement is. Okay. Once you get parked into the slot, we now have to go and check. We want to make sure that the back end of the trailer is within the prescribed limits. So let's go have a look and make sure that we didn't back up too far and that we stay within inside the limits that we need to have. So as we back our trailer up, okay, the rule is you have to be within 1 meter of these cones. We have to stay within 1 meter. Right now, we're not sure what we have. For me personally, my measurement from my fingertips to my chest is 1 meter. So I can stand here and say 1 meter puts me here at my feet. I'm just going to turn, take 1 step, and I'm at the line. So that means I need to back up 1 step. So the easiest way for me to do that is I need some visual marker that tells me how close I am to make sure that I've got the trailer exactly where I need it to be. So I'm just simply going to use a hammer that's inside the door. When I sit inside and I look out, what can I see? Well, I'm going to try and look at the edge of my steps. So I'm going to stand here. I'm going to take my 1 step. If I back the truck up, so that is here, the back end of my trailer will be exactly at 1 meter. But the rule is I have to be within 1 meter. So I'm just simply going to add 1 step, so 1 foot right there. Now if I back up from here to there, I should be just inside that 1 meter mark. Let's see if it works. I'm going to back up. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the step. Should be right there. So when I look, I can see I'm almost at that hammer. I'll leave it there. I'm going to go and check my measurement again. And if I did everything according to the measurement and the way we do it, the back of my trailer should be within the 1 meter. Here's the 1 meter point where my feet are. There's the cone. I am inside 1 meter. That's a pass. That's all you have to do. Okay? These 3 cones here represent a loading dock or a wall. If you back up and you go too far, you go through the wall. It's an automatic fail. You can't back up and then pull ahead and go, oh, now I'm okay. No, it doesn't work that way. So you have to back it up so you are within the 1 meter. So just inside that 1 meter mark. Perfect. Okay? Now we're going to try the impossible. We're going to move this truck and trailer from this slot here over into this slot here. But we have boundaries and limits that we have to go and stay within. And then when we back in, we got to do the same thing. Back it up, stop here within that 1 meter. So let's go have a look at where the cones are and figure out what we can and cannot do, because the examiners are going to be watching to make sure that you do it properly and stay within grounds. Okay, let's have a look. As we come forward back towards our truck, we're going to have a quick look and we're going to make an assessment. So what we're trying to do now is take the truck from here and we want to put the truck in there. But we have rules. When you pull the truck out, you cannot touch the cones, right? Because we have to move over. As we turn and come out, now we have a cone that's sitting way over here on our left-hand side. that left-hand side represents a wall. So when we look at it, we have a wall between this cone and this cone. Here's our wall. I cannot drive my truck and go past the cones on this side. So I'm staying inside that box. So remember, we had the box on the other side that when we got inside of it, we had to stay inside of it. Now we're in the same position here where we've got to make sure that our truck and trailer stay within the lines that they have made for us. And the examiners will set that all up for you. The length that you have between where the cones start and where the cones end over here is 1.5 times the total length of your truck and trailer. So it may vary. If you're doing this in a day cab, then the distance will be 1.5 times its length. If you're using a highway truck, it'll be 1.5 times its length. So it's always the same measurement, okay? And we just look forward to the examiners doing that for us to make sure that they've got all the measurements in place. So let's see if we can make this happen. I have to stay within these bounds, and I can't cross the line over there to make sure that I stay within this square. All right, so I'm going to pull it out, and we're going to see if we can make the turn, and I'll give you some instructions on what we're doing and how we're doing it. So always remember, pick up your hammer if you left it. Somebody will come by, think they're a carpenter, and start nailing wood to the side of your truck, just for fun. Okay. All right, we are going to pull the truck ahead. Now, as I pull the truck ahead, I am going to be watching to make sure I get my movement happening here, but I do not want to have the wheels of the trailer touch the cone. So I'm trying to move as slowly as I can. I'm starting my turn already to get a maximum benefit, but I'm still watching the cones. Okay? I look out the window, I've cleared the cone over there, so I know that I'm good and I can continue. Now all I have to worry about is that wall over there. So I'm going to continue going forward. I can't have the nose of the truck go past the wall. Then I start turning and I go in the opposite direction, making sure that I stay within the guidelines. As I do that, the trailer's following me. Now I'm going to get to about 45 degrees here. I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn my wheel completely in the other direction. I'm going to aim towards that cone that was my final marker, which also helps me put my trailer in a perfectly straight position. So I can't go past the cones again. All right, I'm staying within bounds. Now I have to back up and make the trailer go into the other slot. Honk the horn twice with indications that I'm going to start backing up. Stay within bounds. Okay, now I'm just simply going to back up, watch where my trailer is going, and then just steer it like you would as if you were driving a wheelbarrow. Right? If it looks like it's not quite going to go where you want, then you pull forward. Going to get yourself straightened out again. So as soon as my truck and trailer are perfectly straight, I'm now in a position to back it straight in. And here's the process. Just take it straight back, steering it gently, nice and slow so you have full control. Watch where it's going, watch how it's getting there. And then we just back it straight in, and then we're going to check our distance. All right. So what I'm doing here is as soon as I reach a position where the cones are almost in line with where my trailer wheels are, I'm going to get out and check. That way I know that I haven't gone too far. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to check the distance, and then I'm going to fix it. So I come to the back, and once again I'm going to check it. Now if you've got good depth perception and you think you can do it without doing so, well, that's on you, but you might not do it, so you want to make sure. Okay, Put my fingertips on the back of the trailer, my feet. Here's my 1 meter mark. That's where I kind of want to be. Now I got to pace this off. So I got 2 steps would put me at the line. Okay, so now I'm just going to simply go and move the truck. I'm going to use that hammer again, lay it on the ground, and I'm going to back the truck up that full 2 steps, and I should be in the correct position. So simply going to go forward, grab the hammer out of the truck, and once I have the hammer grabbed out of the truck, I'm in a position. I'm going to mark it. There's my thing, 1 and 2. I'm going to lay the hammer down right about there, because that'll put me just inside the cone. That's kind of where I want to be. I'm going to back it up to that point. So now I'm just going to watch the step. And as soon as the step gets to now I'm going to get out and check. I'm in complete straight alignment with my hammer mark. I'm going to get out and check the trailer. I should be within 1 meter, and if I am, I have successfully completed what I needed to do. I get out and I check it. I am within the 1 meter. There's my 1 meter mark to my foot. Okay, that completes the 2 maneuvers. You have 20 minutes to do both of these maneuvers in order to pass your test. That is not 10 minutes each, so please don't confuse that. It's 20 minutes. So if you can do the first one in 3 minutes, you get 17 minutes to do the next one. And this comes with practice. It takes time to learn this, so it's a process. You do it over and over again. Okay, Jonas Driving School offers the greatest opportunity for you to be able to practice your backup routines and to make sure that you become a successful driver and that you get your Class 1 and move on from there. That's all there is to it. Have a great day. Be safe out there.